Hey, folks, welcome to this week's edition of Quick Dip. I want to thank all of our viewers in the United States and across the globe. I'm your host, Justice, a.k.a. Big Drip. And a little bit later, I'll be joined by our producer. What? Oh, hold on. Let me pull out the script. Hi, folks. I'm Jack, and I'm a producer. I didn't even know that. I'm the producer, and a little later, I'll be joined by Justice. See, this is why I need to read the script. They tell me to read the script. I'm like, nah, I got it. Whoops. Anyway, guys, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I see we have 7 viewers. I appreciate it. Justice will be joining us. We haven't done a normal quick dip in a while, but first things first, today's episode is sponsored by Bonks Bar. Bonks Bar. If you're ever in the Port Richmond area of Philadelphia, or just in Philadelphia, or even even if you're in Jersey, just take the bridge across, come to Bonks Bar. They got wonderful, wonderful seafood and just regular food, wings, cheesesteaks. And look, I don't like seafood, but I love their seafood. If you're ever in there and you happen to see me, your first drink is on Pop Culture Corner. So please come to Bonks Bar. Take a look at these wings. Look at that. Their wings are phenomenal. The people who own Bonks own 2 other bars in the area, and they make the best damn wings in Philly. They have a secret recipe, and they double fry them so the skin doesn't get all loose up in your mouth. No, great wings. Second of all, if you like what you see, we encourage you to become patrons. Why? Because we need money. We are tired of buying bootleg DVDs to watch movies. We need to pay for this. We got to pay for StreamYard. We got to pay for a lot of stuff. So any amount could do. It's only $5 a month. That's it, $5 a month. That's all you need to do, and it helps us out greatly. You get exclusive content, early access to some stuff. You even get discounted merchandise and a special gift courtesy of Pop Culture Corner. Who doesn't like free stuff? All right, guys, let me thank our current patrons. We have Caden Reed, Nick DePalma, Odd, ODD, yeah, you know me, and that one Carlos. That's Juan Carlos. And we also do want to welcome our new patrons, or our new subscribers. Sorry, not new patrons. New subscribers who joined the last couple of days. We have Becky Raisman, Craig O, Gotham K, Angelo Mola, Angel, David Poloche Rodriguez, Venom versus Spidey 11, Paul Reeds, Sharon. I wonder if that's my mom. Anthony Beltray, and Bat Dan 530. Welcome, welcome. At this moment, I am going to pull in Big Drip, if he's here. Where is he? There he is.
Drip, I'm here.
Guy's going to kill me. Hold on. I forgot to do this. I pulled the wrong one.
There you go.
I practiced for like 25 minutes.
That's
so
okay,
the first
Jack.
part where I mixed up our names, that was scripted. This was not. I forgot to. I was like, what the hell did I do?
You know what, Jack? I was laughing. I was giggling for that whole thing. I feel like a proud parent right now. I feel like something good was done. You did a great job just then. That was a beautiful little touch on it. I hope you guys missed me. Sorry, I haven't been here in a while. I've been working on some stuff behind the scenes, trying to do some more YouTube-esque kind of videos, if you will. So I hope you missed me.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Let's talk about that. We worked on it. It's posted, right? I think you posted it yesterday.
Right. 1 o'clock.
Tell them what we did. Tell them what we did.
So we I wanted to say goodbye. If you guys have been around for a while, me and Drizzle were talking about how Bethesda had been purchased by Microsoft and how that broke my heart. So I thought it'd be a good idea. Drizzle doesn't really game. That's not really his thing. Me and Jack game. So I was like, you know what? Let me see if Jack will be into it, if he likes Bethesda games, whatnot. So he's told me he's into it. He likes it. He's also a PlayStation person. That's why we brought him on the show. If he had an Xbox, I would not have brought him onto the show. I'm not with it. We're both PlayStation people. So we did a top 10 video just to kind of say goodbye to Bethesda, show our appreciation, talk about our favorite games, talk about games we felt deserved a shout out and whatnot. And I dare I say it came out pretty good.
It came out pretty good. It's a short video, maybe like 15 minutes, not even. We're not going to give you like a 3-hour video and breakdown analysis, but we just talked about our top 10 favorite Bethesda games, and we both kind of agreed on the same number 1. And it's not like a typical choice, but I think it is, in our opinion, like the best game that Bethesda's ever made.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean that other games haven't come out and done more, but you got to give props to who did it first, and so much props to them. So listen. Right. A lot has happened. We saw each other at the Godzilla versus Kong thing, right? But I know we probably talked about it. But what are your thoughts on the Suicide Squad?
So, okay, that was a nice transition. I see what you did there. That was nice. Bravo. Golf clap. So, so for all of us in this community, right? Why this trailer? Well, we saw 2 trailers. We saw the Red Band trailer online, and then at Showcase when we saw Godzilla versus Kong, they gave us a more like theater appropriate kind of trailer. And within both of those trailers, we saw that Starro will be a part of this movie, and I thought that was really interesting. To the normies, they don't know who that is, right? Mm-hmm. But we know who that is. It doesn't take much. We know what's going on. And I thought that was really interesting because one of the biggest problems I heard from the first movie was, why is the villain so powerful? Why is the villain like planet destruction type level and the Suicide Squad is handling it? And Starro falls under that same category. So I thought that was interesting. And I thought we could talk about it a bit and get into it and see what the thoughts are.
I don't know if they're gonna make I don't even know if that's gonna be the main villain or it's gonna be like a sort of like how was it with what was the last movie we saw where like you have your main villain but they're using someone else? What were we talking about? Wonder Woman. How the main villain is Pedro Pascal, but he's kind of using Cheetah. Maybe it's one of those situations. Maybe that general has I don't think this will be as powerful as Starro as because it's going to be a fun movie. He's really strong, right? Strong, but they're probably going to nerf him and make him the way they introduced him, and he's like, it's a kaiju. It kind of makes me think like, they're going with a jokey, funny because it was a 1950s comic villain. Right.
And it's weird because like he, so hopefully. So you got a point, right? It's very easy to turn him into just like a joke kind of villain because he's like a giant starfish from, space, right? So it's easy to turn him into a joke. But in all actuality, for all of us who know the character, the villain, if you will, first of all, he's a Justice League villain. So that already
was the first Justice League villain. He was the first Justice League villain.
Exactly. And that already puts him at top tier, that alone, right? Yeah. And not only that, but he is incredibly powerful. And if I remember correctly, his power set is roughly something along the lines of like mind control, right? Something along those lines, able to take over bodies and control minds, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he has little mini Starros, right?
Right. Okay. Yeah, kind of like a face hugger kind of scenario, and right? I think kind of like Alien.
There's one iteration where Darkseid helped use the anti-life equation and the mini Starros. That's like one of the many times they've done that story. Yeah, it's out there somewhere.
But so I think it's kind of like again, like a big problem with the first one was, why is this villain so powerful and the Suicide Squad is handling it? And I'm basically going into this assuming it's just going to be Guardians of the Galaxy with maybe a little more edgy, a little darker. Maybe they'll say a swear word every now and again, right? Yeah. But it's essentially the same movie, and that leads me to believe, because they put Ronan in Guardians of the Galaxy, he was more powerful than the comic version, right? Yeah. So that's kind of James Gunn's kind of thing, but James Gunn's very clever and he's smart about his writing. I love his movies. I think they're great. I think they're good, well written. So maybe this will work, maybe it won't, but something tells me it won't.
So like in the first Suicide Squad, you're right, they have this mega power being, but remember it was right after BVS, so Superman was gone. Yep. They didn't ask Batman for help, and Wonder Woman was not yet, I think, like, she hadn't come out of the closet, for lack of a better, like, she was still kind of hidden. But you're right. But the cool thing was they did send, like, JSOC team, but, like, the Suicide Squad never makes sense. Like, why would they ever take Harley Quinn? And even I was like, well, what excuse could you use for Harley Quinn? Well, she's a licensed doctor. Maybe she could serve as a medic. I'm like, they could just throw a line like that in there. But it seems like in this one, at first, the villain's going to be some, like, South American general, I think, right?
Right, something
that makes sense. Send these crazy people to create chaos. You know, they're not there to do political stuff. They're just there to raise hell. And look, I think it's going to be like Guardians of the Galaxy, because we know it's very much going to be. It's going to have they compared it to the Vietnam War. It's going to be like kind of a 70s feel to it. So a lot of 70s music, that's going to be in there. Yeah. Like what the hell can Boomerang do? But he's funny. Whatever, it works. The whole idea is a Suicide Squad is kind of a dumb idea. Like,
well, the best Suicide Squad stories I've ever seen is Amanda Waller doing shady things, right? Like she's trying to break into Arkham for whatever to break out a villain for whatever reason, because he has valuable information or whatever the case may be. And she can't really go to the public with it, right?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
everything she's
Well,
doing
that was the case with the first one
shady.
too, right? Because like she was the VIP,
exactly.
so she kind of wanted to hide that.
Right.
It's a very hard R rating. Yeah, probably. I mean, we've seen
it is. Yeah, you're right, Caden. You're right. Yeah. Which is dope.
And I
like
like
that.
How do you feel they did King Shark? Because look in the Flash series, he is
I like
scary.
him.
Have you seen the Harley Quinn show?
Yes, I have. Yes.
They kind of made a baby like that, where he's kind of like a big baby. He's kind of like Curly from the Three Stooges.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm okay with that. Like, because the whole idea, like, I feel like if they did him serious, it would be hard for audiences, because we know who King Shark is. We'd be like, yeah, we know it. If they did it too serious, it would come off as kind of goofy. Like, that's
and
they
try to do that. They try to do it with Killer Croc, and that clearly didn't work. Even though Killer Croc he's not really a joke type of character. I like what I saw thus far from King Shark. The whole hand thing, I was laughing. I thought it was funny.
Because the idea is like they know it's a. Have you ever seen the DC animated Suicide Squad, like Assault on Arkham? Did you ever see that one?
That's what I was referring to. That's a really
good one.
Exactly. And what is the story of that movie? Exactly what I said. Amanda Waller is doing some shady shit. She can't go to Batman. She can't go to Wonder Woman. She can't go to any of these people because she's not supposed to be doing what she's doing. So she sends the Suicide Squad, and then Batman gets aware of it. He shows up and he shuts it down. That's a beautiful story.
I think that's the end of it, where Amanda Waller's talking to some colonels, like, now that Batman's involved, we're in trouble. It's like, don't worry, ma'am, this is a secure building, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
He's standing right behind me, isn't he? And he's like right there. He's like, you bitch. Like, he's like, I warned you. And so actually, I always kind of liked how the end of Suicide Squad kind of segued into Justice League, like where he's like, shut it down, or me and my friends are going to shut it down, and then he's going to build his own team, That was like one of the few good things I liked about the first Suicide. It kind of segued that. King Shark looks good, but they keep saying their tagline is "Don't get attached." They might kill a lot of these characters off unceremoniously.
Absolutely. The vast majority. I mean, the first time we got like the announcement and we got the fandom and they gave us all the characters, it's over a dozen, right? It's like 14, maybe 15 characters. There's a lot. Of course, they're gonna die. Of course, most of them aren't gonna make it. I'm calling it right now. Harley Quinn, King Shark. I'm gonna go with oh my goodness,
Peacemaker.
Harley
we know
Quinn.
Does live.
Thank you, Peacemaker. Thank you, and Idris Elba, and then Rick Flag and all the returning characters. They'll stay. Like King Shark, Idris Elba, I think those two are the new ones, and Peacemaker that will stick around.
And look, they kind of when I say they'll be killed unceremoniously. So do you remember how Diablo died at the end of the first one?
Yes,
it was kind of like it was. They tried to make it emotional.
They had.
They were trying to be like, oh, look how sad it is that Diablo died. I think some characters going to get blown up. Who was the guy who gets killed at the beginning of Suicide Squad? He's like a Native American. Like, dude, try running away.
The man who can climb anything.
Yeah.
That was the goofiest thing I've ever seen in my life. What was his? I forget his name because he was so terrible.
But like Polka Dot Man, I think he's going to die hilariously.
I think I'm glad James Gunn stepped in, because the last movie, they took a bunch of goofy characters and tried to take them all serious, right? We were supposed to consider them actual threats.
Caden's like, his name is Slipknot.
Slipknot, thank you. The man.
That's right. The band. Remember the band Slipknot back in the day?
Of course.
And Peacemaker is a prequel. Okay, but I still don't think when you get someone like John Cena, you're not going to kill him off. You want to franchise him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's in Fast and Furious. So
I don't like John Cena at all. Do you?
So I wasn't a fan of his as a wrestler, whatever. But recently, he kind of shows to be someone who can kind of laugh at himself. Okay. So that line where he's like, the one line we see him is like, let me tell you something. If that beach was full of dicks and I had to eat every one for liberty, I would do it. That's hard to sell with a serious face, Yeah,
right.
I was like, okay, he's got it, and I kind of like it,
I don't like him at all. Acting wise, I haven't liked him at all. But this, based off of the trailers I've seen thus far, I was like, okay, I think he has some potential. I still think HBO is jumping the gun with
maybe
green lighting a show with him already.
The James Gunn.
Oh, that was pretty good. Actually,
here's why I think it works. Have you ever seen his wrestling persona? When he first started, he was like the white guy trying to be black, but he kind of became like this hero. He salutes the troops. He loves America. He wears the He's kind of like Hulk Hogan was back in the 80s, America, So it kind of works with the Peacemaker because, with with Peacemaker, he described him as a douchey Captain America. I'm like, okay, I could see that. Like he'll do, you know, like I love America and America's great and all that stuff. But like that kind of over patriotism, like I think he can pull that off. Like he could sell these like really dumb lines, like unironically. You know, I'll do it for liberty.
Yeah, and that's why I think it will work for in this particular scenario. I said it the other day. He's gonna end up like The Rock. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
He's
Everyone forgets The Rock was about to go direct to video until the Fast and Furious, because he did like the Mummy Returns, he did a couple of things, he did Doom, and then he wasn't doing anything until Fast and Furious. And now he
was that where it started?
That's where he started getting big, because he was in every it was like the fifth film or sixth film, I think. And then he got his own spinoff. Now The Rock's the biggest star. But I could see Cena doing the same thing, because
absolutely
both of them are known for having like incredible work ethics. Like Cena wakes up at like 4 a.m. and hits the gym, and like he's one of those type of dudes. Like I've heard stories of him like where he'll be out drinking with his friends till like 1 a.m. and then he wakes up at 4 and he still goes to the gym. He's like no time off.
Right.
You know, and so like I think he could do it, and this could be a good way for him. Okay, he does HBO Peacemaker. He could become a big star, and you know, at some point him and The Rock are probably going to meet now that they're both in the Fast and Furious.
Did they put John Cena into the Fast and Furious?
Yeah,
franchise?
so I don't know if you guys saw the trailer for Fast 9. He's going to be Dominic Toretto's long lost brother, even though they look nothing alike, and even though Dominic Toretto never mentioned having a brother. And the irony is that Vin Diesel's character is supposed to be Italian, but Vin Diesel is not Italian, and then John Cena doesn't look Italian, but he actually is Italian.
A little bit. Is he? Wow.
He's Italian. He's Italian American. He's probably mixed.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah. But they don't look like brothers. I'm sure they're going to do like a whole like brother from another mother. Yeah. Look, if they do an HBO style show and not tone it down for kids, I'm down. If they make it like The Boys, just kind of like just bloody as hell, no holds barred. I'm
absolutely, and that will be the case. We saw that clearly. That's going to be the case. We saw that in the Red Band trailer. It's going to be a lot of fun. My expectations rather, the bar is rather low. As long as I go into it and I have some fun, again, I'm essentially assuming I'm just watching Suicide Squad. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy. Again,
and to be fair though, it needs to be like Guardians 1, where it's fresh, and not Guardians 2. Because I don't know how you feel about Guardians 2. To me, it was like the same movie again. Like the first one was great. I was like, oh, this is fresh, this is new. I kind of like it. Right. But I hope he just doesn't do that, because I know he has full reign, James Gunn. But I also know he has made R-rated movies, and this is going to be him like, pedal to the metal type thing. They're not going to, the studio's not going to tell him what to do. He's going to make his own thing. And
I'm always a fan of the whole 70s timestamp, right? Yeah. I always like that. I like old school rock and roll, some Black Sabbath, the whole nine. Right?
Oh, you're a Sabbath fan, huh?
Yeah, I like Sabbath.
Oh,
absolutely.
The first thing I learned to play on the guitar was Black Sabbath.
Really?
You said, this is interesting. So I didn't see the regular Suicide Squad trailer that you guys saw for Godzilla vs. Kong. That still isn't out yet, and I'm kind of curious why they haven't revealed that trailer. At least I don't think it's out yet.
Well, I mean, in all actuality, if I had to pick, do I want the Red Band trailer or do I want that trailer we got in theaters? I would go with the Red Band. They're probably assuming
I think Ty said he thought the theatrical one was better.
Oh, okay. I like the Red Band more for obvious reasons. It's an R-rated movie. It's a Red Band trailer. Of course, I'm gonna like that one more. I mean, we got plenty. Don't get it twisted. We got plenty of new footage in that trailer, but nothing of like real significance. If you ask me,
was the story a little bit more clarified?
I'm sorry.
Was the story more clarified in the theatrical trailer?
No, I wouldn't say so. No. Again, I think we got more of a highlight of like what we were talking about before as to what's going on with Harley in like what I'm assuming is the first act of the movie, Harley being kidnapped, whatever. They went into that a little bit. You saw a little bit more of Idris Elba, but that's really it. Nothing crazy.
So there were 3 trailers. Unless they released that trailer, I haven't seen it yet.
No, I've seen. Well, so okay, Kaden, the first one from Fandom was not a trailer.
Really a trailer. That was more like a sneak peek.
Yeah, it was an announcement. Oh, here are your characters. This is kind of what's going on. I wouldn't call that a trailer. Thus far, all I've seen is the theatrical and the Red Band that's online.
Yeah. It's funny. I remember the Fandom trailer. There was like one of the guys in the movie. I don't know what his character is, but I think he was German. He's like, you see genitals blowing up. I'm like, what? You know
what I'm excited for, Jack? So in fandom, they showed us this in fandom, and they put it in every trailer thus far. Is the scene of Weasel, and he's behind the cell, and he kind of licks the window, and I was like, okay, I'm into it. He looks really freaky. His hair's all fuzzy. He looks like he's been on a run for the past 3 years. I was like, okay, I'm into it.
I'm not talking about one. Okay. Anyway, keep going. Yeah, I kind of like, and Weasel, by the way, is going to be the same guy who does he's James Gunn's brother. He also does the body motion for Rocket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Bradley Cooper is never on set. Like he just records his lines in a booth.
Right.
So they released that trailer apparently. Okay, all right, they released it. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. I mean, I haven't gone looking for it. If I'm gonna watch another trailer, it's gonna be the Red Band. I'm not gonna watch the theatrical again. So, Jack, I got a question for you. Back in the day, are you a Mortal Kombat guy?
So I played a little bit because my friend had an N64. So my parents didn't let me play consoles when I was a kid. I do have the recent ones. At Mortal Kombat X and was it 11?
Yes.
I have those, and they're the same people who made the Injustice games, right? Is it the same people?
Correct.
Yeah. So I played that, but I was more familiar with the tropes because I remember back in the day, Mortal Kombat used to be in arcades. I don't know if you grew up with arcades because they're kind of gone now. But we used to love playing them. And speaking of hard R ratings,
Mortal Kombat, baby, you can't. I don't. So okay, I ask you if you played this because first of all, I don't. I'm not a fan of the fighting style. Mm-hmm. I don't really like fighters in that. So I'm not really a fan of Injustice, Mortal Kombat, anything that kind of has that style to it.
Yeah.
But that being said, okay, so I get why the 90s movie didn't work. I get it. Because at that time, Mortal Kombat didn't have a story, right? Yeah. It was just an art. It was literally just a tournament. It was Mortal Kombat. That was it, right? But as the years gone on, we've gotten actual story within these games, right? And it's actually pretty in depth with the recent entries, X10, Mortal Kombat 9, etc. They went pretty big on the story. So this will work. There's not a doubt.
I think it'll be work. And look, if you're expecting like a story like Tenet or an Oscar-worthy story, then this will be like Godzilla versus Kong. In fact, I don't think this might even have less story than Godzilla versus Kong. I don't know.
Right.
Well,
if they're smart, it will.
Yeah. It should have some story. It should have a compelling story. But I think they know that people want to see the fights. They want to see Sub-Zero. They want to hear finish him and all that stuff.
Right, exactly. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm guessing correctly, the story will be the only purpose of the story is to get the humans. So Sonya, Jax, I don't know the rest of the characters, but just to get the Volcano, to get the humans within the tournament, and then that's the extent of the story, right?
Yeah. Ty's like, where is everyone? I feel like everyone likes TY or something. No, it's because we're not talking about a Snyder cut. That's probably what it is. But so with Mortal Kombat, like by the way, I think we're working on we're going to be doing our next show for Mortal Kombat.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
That's going to be exciting. Yeah. And I think go ahead. Yeah.
So I'm going into this, and once again, my expectations are very low. I know that's like a common thing I say, but I don't like to get my hopes up. Not anymore. I'm hoping this works. Video game movies usually don't. Like I said before, if they're smart, the story will be minimal, and they'll just really focus on the action. Honestly, I think your boy Zack Snyder would nail this movie. Yeah. His action is on point.
Yeah.
His choreography and his
Are you ready for a 4-hour Mortal Kombat movie?
I don't know about all that, but
and then it'll be slow motion. Most of it will be slow motion. We're not making fun of Snyder fans. We're just but yeah, you're right. He could actually make a pretty decent story out of that because he does like trying to tell a story. Right. I think he could probably do a pretty cool story, Right.
And dude, you really, and you don't really need it, right? Like, you need one because it's a movie. Obviously, there needs to be a story there. But I promise you, if it's minimal and you just do the bare minimum with your storytelling, as long as the action looks good and the characters sound and look correct and everything feels cool and everything looks cool, I promise you this is going to work, right? Nobody's coming in.
I mean, that's kind of, I might get in trouble for saying this, but that's kind of like I love the Marvel, but that's kind of like the average Marvel formula. Like, you have great characters, great acting,
Right.
decent dialogue,
Right.
but the story's okay, with the
Right.
exception of about 5 or
Everybody's
6 really good
likable.
movies, you know?
Right. Exactly. Everybody's likable. The action is
Yeah.
cool, and you get excited to see things pop off. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And how violent do you think it's going to be? Because they said it's going to be
Very.
a hard R. Yeah,
It better be. It better be. It has
I'm
to be.
expecting
It's
like
Mortal Kombat.
Saw level of violence,
Right. Right.
RoboCop
I mean, it's
violence.
to this point. Mortal Kombat is essentially another word for violence, right? When you talk violence in media,
It means
the
fight to
first
the
thing
death.
that comes
Mortal
to mind,
Kombat, fight to the death.
right? Exactly. The first thing you think when you think of to yourself violence within pop culture, the first thing that comes to mind is Mortal Kombat. They go hand in hand. So this movie has to have an hard R. It wouldn't work otherwise.
Yeah, and look, here's the thing. People say that there hasn't been a good video game movie yet, and some people say maybe Sonic the Hedgehog broke that mold. I think it did, maybe, but do you think this will be the movie that turns it around? Because I know Uncharted is coming out.
Yeah, with Spidey. Yeah, Spidey's gonna play Nathan Drake. That's gonna be interesting.
But I don't know who's writing and directing it because it's not the team that makes the games. Because the team who makes the games, they're pretty good writers. Like for the Uncharted games,
yeah,
I hope
absolutely.
that whoever writes the Uncharted movie gives it like some actual thought, and it's not like, all right, let's just hang him off the side of a building,
Right. Well, I mean that should be, in theory, that should be an easy W because Uncharted is such a story-driven type of game. Like, how could you possibly mess that up? The heart and soul of this game is the story, so it'd be very hard to mess that up. If they're smart, they'll bring some writers that actually worked on the game into the movie. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Naughty Dog did Uncharted, right?
Yeah, a Naughty Dog. That's what made them rich. Like they made Uncharted 1, 2, then they made The Last of Us.
Okay.
You played The Last of Us, right?
No.
Oh, you haven't? Okay, all right. Because
I haven't played Uncharted either. I own Uncharted. Yeah, I own the whole collection of Uncharted. I still haven't played it.
I have them, the original PS3 versions, and I have the remastered version also. They're fun games. They're very story driven. Like in terms of gameplay, it's pretty simple: climb, shoot, climb, shoot. There's not much else, but the story is what it's at, and it's a pretty. The Uncharted movie is a prequel to the games. Are we sure about that? I know it's set in the past. I know it's set in the past because it is sort of. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Uncharted 3. Like there are parts of Uncharted 3 where you play as a young Nathan Drake, and how he meets a thief named Victor Sullivan, and that's going to be played by what's the guy from Boston? Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, Mark Wahlberg.
So they're going to do that. I don't know if it's going to be a prequel because the games are pretty much contemporary, and that would be set in the 80s and stuff. I feel like it's probably going to be its own thing, not necessarily connected to it. Because what if they want to keep going forward for the next 15 years?
Right.
The Uncharted movie is a prequel to the games. The guy who directed Venom, both Zombieland and Bad Trips. Director of Venom. Ooh.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Venom, but it wasn't like. It wasn't
I like Zombieland.
Like Zombieland. Okay.
Yeah.
I like the first one. I didn't care about the second one. I never got the obsession with Zombieland. I liked it, but I don't know. I
like it. It's simple as that. It's a like. That's it. So the point being, video game movies tend to flop often. If you ask me on any day of the week, I'll tell you video game movies suck and you should just stop doing it because it never works. I would have hung up that towel a long time ago, but yet they keep pushing and they keep persisting and on trying it. And if Sonic is the one that broke the mold, let's remember that Sonic had a television show for like 10 years, right? So Sonic's already been turned into media before this, right? Mortal Kombat, not so much. Uncharted, also not so much. I'm not counting those.
You know what they need? What the video game industry movies need? They need a Dark Knight. They need a movie that takes itself seriously. Because I feel like a lot of times they write the movie, they're like, "Oh, the fans of the games will buy it and watch it." It's like, no, they won't.
No, absolutely. They're the last people to buy it. They're not even kind of interested because it never works.
No, unless you treat it like its own thing. Like I'm going to try to make a good. That's what Chris Nolan did with Batman Begins. I'm going to treat this character like it's a real character. I'm going to give him empathy. I'm going to give him a story arc. I'm not just going to put him in a costume and have him blow up, stuff. I'm going to treat the character like.
Right.
Okay. Speaking of video game movies, and this and Saw are kind of my guilty pleasures in terms of franchises. I
Okay.
kind of am okay. I'm not saying it's great, but I kind of enjoyed the Resident Evil movies for what they were.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
I saw them and I watched them a bunch. I'm like,
bother me.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. They're not great, but like, what's her name? Mila Jovovich. She's great. I mean, she's just she sells like the badass female thing, and it's a shame she
early 2000s. She was early 2000s. She was on top.
Yeah.
I mean, so Resident Evil started when I was very, very young.
Same. I was in grade school.
Yeah, I was only like 5 when those movies started. So I never got the chance to like actually get into Resident Evil and then watch those movies and judge them. You feel me? Yeah. I kind of grew up with both. So they never really bothered me. It's called oh my God, what was it called?
No, it's called Spiral. Saw
Spiral.
Story.
Yeah, Spiral.
So
as far as Resident Evil goes, it doesn't really bother me all that much. Again, because I grew up with it. But if any video game movie should work, it's Mortal Kombat because again, it's so simple. I mean, I honestly can't even wrap my head how you could mess this up. I really don't. The formula couldn't be more simple.
Yeah, well, you know what wasn't too bad? The not Resident Evil, but the Silent Hill movie wasn't great, but I thought it was okay. Did you see that first Silent Hill?
That's another movie that's been around my entire life, and that movie. I was absolutely terrified. I would make it like halfway through. I'd pee my pants and go in my room and cry and hide under the blankets. I mean, that movie really messed me up as a child.
It is a freaky movie.
And that's another one that like I had no idea for years and years and years.
And then it was a video game.
Idea. Yeah, no clue. Not even a little bit. Because Silent Hill was big at like, what was it, N64, right?
Yeah. And Silent Hill 2 is considered a masterpiece. And I think Hideo Kojima was going to make his own version of Silent Hill. Remember that PT thing? That teaser?
Yeah.
Konami fired him, and so like he never made it. So
yeah, I do remember that. I know what you're talking about. So I mean, video game movies are. I can't really understand why it's so hard to hit. Well, okay. So the best explanation I've heard as to why video game movies never work is because so much of a chunk of a video game is us, right? It's a video game, right? So we're playing it. 90% of it is what we do with it and what we run around and we do. So when you're trying to translate that into a movie, you only have 10% to work with. You have to fill that other 90% where we would be playing the game and turn it into something involving the movie. And more often than not, people mess it up.
Yeah. So Caden's asking about the Powerpuff Girls. I grew up with them. I was never a huge fan.
I'm sorry,
of
what? What about the Powerpuff Girls? What's happening?
They're doing a movie, a live action movie with real actresses. I have zero interest. I really don't. But we could take a look. Do you want to take a look at the photos? I don't know if you want to take a look at the photos.
Can you pull them up? Yeah, I would like to. Yeah. I actually really, I got sisters and they watched Powerpuff Girls when we were kids, and I actually really like it. It's a good show. I was really into it growing up. And that's really bad news, honestly. I'm really not. Are those adults? Are those adults they have playing them?
Yeah.
My goodness. Ugh. Ew. I refuse to see that movie. I'm boycotting it right now.
Yeah, that
absolutely not.
That kind of looks like they're just like jailbait. I don't know.
What is going on?
Like they're supposed to be kids.
Yeah, they're like 5 years old. Do you know who's playing them?
I don't recognize any of these people.
I don't either.
That kind of looks like, from a distance, I thought that was Kat Dennings, like when it was all the way back here.
Kind of looks like Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza, sorry, yeah, Aubrey Plaza, yeah, from a distance.
I'm not into it. I'm not happy at all. Caden, to answer your question, I'm not even kind of happy. Not even a little bit. Like, I can't even possibly imagine Powerpuff Girls working.
Here we go. Chloe Bennett, Dove Cameron, and Yana Peralt.
Never heard of her.
Filming the pilot, so it's going to be a show.
What? See, okay, so this is what I'm talking about, right? Powerpuff Girls is a good example. I know it's a cartoon, I know, but it's a good example as to why video game movies never work. Things like these you can't adapt everything into live action. Expect it to work. It doesn't. I can assure you. I can say.
Oh, it's being made by the CW. Never mind. It's going to be trash. All right. Never mind.
Oh goodness. I mean, for God's sakes, their main villain is a monkey with a case on his head, with his brain exposed in a glass case over his head, a green monkey at that. How like you know, not everything needs to be adapted into live action, and I'm
I
not
mean,
into it.
if you were gonna do like, I don't know, like if you're gonna actually cast kids and make like a, I don't know, like a 90-minute Disney type movie for kids, maybe, but like you don't need to. Just because something was popular as a cartoon does not mean it needs to be adapted. What made it work was like they're doing the new Space Jam movie. Thank you for keeping Bugs Bunny and all them cartoons. Could you imagine if they tried to make a real rabbit?
Yeah.
And, like an actual rabbit, like talking.
Okay,
like, hey,
actually, I'm glad you brought that up because I almost forgot about it. I saw the trailer for the first time the other day, and I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not happy at all.
Yeah. I had low
Jam
expectations. I thought it looked fine.
I think I'm not digging it. I'm not liking the whole fact that they're animating LeBron and putting him into it. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it at all. As far as, because that's the whole subject tonight, right? What Warner Brothers has coming up in the near future.
Oh my God, they're gonna make it a teen sex drama. It's a CW.
That's even worse. That's
worse.
Even worse. That's worse. That's a lot worse. Where was I go? Oh, the whole Warner Brothers upcoming releases. All right, so Suicide Squad. I'm thinking it's gonna be good. Mortal Kombat, I'm also thinking it's going to be good. Space Jam, I'm thinking no. I'm thinking they're going to try to hit us with some nostalgia. I don't think it's going to work.
I don't think it's good, especially in the trailer. They heard this song, "Come On and Jam." I'm like, that's the song from the first one. The first one, believe it or not, did not make that much money. It made money, but it wasn't like it didn't even go past 100 million.
Sounds about right.
I liked it because I was a kid, because I grew up watching MJ, like Michael Jordan. It was like it was something of back then. Basketball was more popular than football. Like right now, American football is like the most watched sport in America. Back then, it was Jordan, and then there was the Bulls. I remember the last time Jordan played in Philly, I wore a Bulls jersey. I was like, yeah, Michael. I forget about the Sixers. You know, Michael Jordan's in town.
You know, I think that's what was forgotten when they made the Space Jam movie, or when they decided to make it, is that Space Jam didn't work right off the rip. Space Jam worked over time, right? Yeah. Because of kids like us, nostalgia. Yeah. That's why Space Jam worked.
Not only that, at the time, the Looney Tunes were still kind of popular. I remember there was a lot of Looney Tunes, like Bugs Bunny still did the introduction to like a Warner Brothers video. You're like, you know, it was. I remember they used to have the Warner Brothers store. Like the Looney Tunes were still pretty popular.
Right.
I don't know if kids watch Looney Tunes anymore because parents are like, oh, it teaches them violence. I'm like, shut up. You know.
Well, I saw the revamp. They try to keep it like alive. They made like a new Looney Tunes show that's actually pretty good. A lot of people sleep on it.
I have to see. Is it on HBO Max?
I'm not sure. I'm not probably, because they have Cartoon Network on HBO Max, so solid chance there is.
I mean, it's a
good show though.
It might be fine. It looks fine. I'm not a big fan of 3D. I like 3D animated, but they could have kept it 2D because Looney Tunes has always been 2D. Right. I don't know why they have to keep going back to 3D animation. Like, keep Looney Tunes 2D, and it worked with Space Jam. Jordan looked those shots of him like in like the arena with the Looney Tunes. It worked great.
It did. I thought it worked good too. And you know, again, for the second time now, Space Jam did not work at first. Over the years,
home video became huge. See? A lot of people saw it on home video, because I remember when I saw it, I was like, I loved it as a kid. I'm like, oh my God, Michael Jordan.
I definitely didn't go to the theater for that. There's no way in hell I did.
Yeah, I mean, and what they did was, it also happened at the right time, because Michael Jordan went to play baseball and he came back, and then they integrated that into the story.
Right.
It was actually clever. Like, he did it because of the Toon Stars. Like, oh God, that's brilliant.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about that. You're right. Yeah. We don't really have that with LeBron. And I mean, look, no, you know what? I'm lying. I was going to say LeBron isn't as likable as Jordan is, but I'm lying. LeBron's a very nice guy.
He's a nice guy, but here's what I will say. And this is something Jordan got in trouble with. And I don't know if you ever saw The Last Dance. They actually talked about this. That was that 6-part series they did on the Chicago Bulls. Last year. No. It's really good. Even if you hate basketball, watch it. It's really good. LeBron is very political, which is fine. He should be. MJ was clever. He was never political. They asked him, like, well, why don't you, like, they said to Michael Jordan in the early 90s, why don't you stand up for like affirmative action or this or that, and, you know, get involved politically? And his response was, yeah, well, Republicans buy sneakers too. And he
There
got
you
in
go.
trouble for that. But I'm like, hey,
There you
he's
go.
being smart. I'm
Yeah.
not going to alienate the fan base. I think one of the reasons people loved him, and look, this is neither here nor there. Sometimes people get upset when athletes get political. With Colin Kaepernick and stuff like that. You know, we're not going to talk about that. But Jordan kind of played it down the line. He did not get political at all.
Right.
And I think people like that about him. People are like, great, yeah, I want to watch basketball. I don't want to be worrying about, all these other issues. So the other thing is, because LeBron is very political, I could see like the other half of the country that's not really into it, who I'm talking about, like they'd just be like, nope, I'm not interested in watching a LeBron movie, but a Michael Jordan movie, yeah, I'll watch that. That's the only thing I can think of.
Right. Well, and so here's two.
So there we go.
Right?
Caden says it looks fine. Billy Roberts says it looks meh. And you're right. It hit on the nostalgia a little bit too much because they played the Space Jam theme. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so here's the thing, right? They're gonna. It's okay. So kids today don't know Looney Tunes, and they sure the hell don't care about basketball. Kids today only care about TikTok. That's it.
Well, you know what? I will say about Jordan. Jordan made basketball worldwide. LeBron did, but it's not bigger than football. It's not bigger than football.
Kids nowadays don't care about basketball, and they certainly don't care about the Looney Tunes. Again, they care about TikTok. Exactly. And the nostalgia isn't there. I don't know. For me, anyways, it's not there. And I really like Space Jam. To this day, I'll throw it on and just kind of watch it in the background, right? Well, like my eyes won't be glued to it, but I'll have it on and I'll have a good time with it. I'll still enjoy it.
Look at Billy with the jokes.
That's funny.
What? Maybe we have to brighten up the screen a little bit like they had to do with Ray Fisher, and Ray got mad. Did you read that Hollywood Reporter article?
I did not. Should I?
Yeah, you should. Honestly, I kind of walked away from it that maybe he's being a little too hard on Jeff Johns and Hamada. And I want the scientist version, but from what I got of it, why he hates Hamada and why he hates Jeff Johns didn't really sell me. Like the Joss Whedon is like, it's clear. Because even other actors from other shows were like, and there are rumors that Affleck wanted to punch Joss Whedon. Like he got that. So that's fine. But it seems like Jeff Johns and Hamada, they were trying to play peacemakers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you're in a corporation, when you're in a company, when you're even in like a church community and you got to, bring bridges together, the evidence that he gave really didn't blow my skirt up, to use an old expression. I was like, no, he like
my bad,
the evidence for the racial thing. Here's the thing I didn't know. First of all, I didn't know that Jeff Johns is Lebanese American.
Is he? I didn't know that.
So he's half Middle Eastern. Number two, he's married to. So here we go. So the two instances of racism, according to him, one was that the executive said, we don't want an angry black guy. We want to move away from that stereotype. Now, I think that's stupid, but I also get like in this woke culture, the last thing you want is controversy that, hey, the one superhero you have that's black is angry. Now, I don't care, but you know how the media is and the internet is with that type of stuff?
Yeah.
We were like,
but
oh my God, this
I'm
movie
confused.
is so disgraceful. The one African-American character that made him angry. So that's probably where they were coming from. Again, I think it's stupid, but I also understand.
Okay. I see what you mean.
I kind of understand why they would say that, because you're afraid of like the mob coming after them,
well, I mean, I'm almost, my guess is, a big problem.
Justice is doing his John Cena impression. So
yeah. Can't see me.
I kind of like it, man. You kind of have like a Zoom sex tape thing going on here. Like, hey, baby, Barry White.
Yeah, keep it smooth. On? Keep it smooth, baby bird. I think
he is white, Billy. He's half white.
Technically,
yeah,
that's correct. I think with the whole changing Cyborg thing was, the first two movies, Man of Steel and BVS, most people were complaining like, bro, this is so depressing and dark and moody, and everybody's like an emo. I don't like this. Everybody's so moody and emotional. I don't like this. So Warner Brothers saw that when they brought Joss Whedon in. Of course, Joss Whedon's not going to do a mopey kind of angry character. Of course not. That's not how he shoots, and that's not what Warner Brothers wanted. Yeah. They didn't want that at the time.
If they had told Joss Whedon to start from scratch, it probably would have been a better movie. It wouldn't have been the same tone. But look, it would have been something like the first. But so anyway, that was his first issue of racialism. Like, they were talking about like, we don't want a black angry character. Which I think it's stupid, but I also understand, like, if you're trying to be woke, you don't want to play into stereotypes. Like I said, there are stereotypes that, like Asian, like in Big Bang Theory, what always gets me is the Indian guy's afraid of talking to women. I'm like, Where did that even come from?
Well,
we wrote the book on sex positions, like, and we're afraid to talk to women. Yeah, exactly. Like, but again, like, so I'm like, okay, maybe they want to say, but okay, to me, doesn't mean that Jeff Johns is a racist. Second incident was on the set of Krypton.
Okay.
And apparently they wanted to cast a black actor or as Kal-El's grandfather.
Okay.
And he said, well, no, because Superman's white. And he can't have a black grandfather. And they were like, well, Zod is black, or I haven't watched the show, but they were saying that a young Superman, they wanted someone to look like Henry Cavill.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, again, to me, that's not racism. Like, and I gave the example yesterday that if in Justice League they cast Jackie Chan as Victor Stone's father, wouldn't you be like,
wait, what? How did that happen?
Yeah, like, wait, why is his grandfather? Why is his father Chinese?
Look,
it's not that Jackie Chan's not a good answer. That doesn't mean you're anti-Asian. It's just be like, okay. And the third incident, which sounds bad, but then you need a little context. There was an African-American actress who said, I want to change my hair for the next scene. And he says, no, we want to keep it consistent. Because in TV shows, you want characters to have the same hair, especially. And she's like, well, it's very common for black women to change their hair frequently. He's like, no, it's not.
That's how.
Now, there are two ways to take. One is that saying that black women change their hair is kind of a stereotypical thing to say, you know? It's like saying, oh, Asians are always good at math. It's like that is kind of a stereotype. Anyway, the second of all, Jeff Johns' first wife is black. He was married to her for 10 years. So in a way, he's kind of saying like, look, I've been married to a black woman for 10 years. My second wife is Asian. What you're saying is not true. It'd be like if someone came up to me and be like, you know, Pakistani women are like this. I'm like, no, they're not, because my mom is a Pakistani woman. My sister's a Pakistani woman.
Look, I hopped off the whole, I've hopped off. I've never been on this whole woke train, I guess, if you want to call it. And that whole Ray Fisher thing, I've been done with that a long time now. After we figure out Joss Whedon actually is a terrible person. All right, cool, job done. He's gone.
And that hurts for me to say. You know, I'm a Snyder fan.
I don't care anymore.
What I'm saying is, I'm a Snyder fan, right? But I was also up until I was a huge Joss Whedon fan. I'm a huge Buffy, and he wrote a great black character by the name of Charles Gunn, who was a great character.
Show.
I still like the show. I still like Angel. I still like Firefly. I still like the first two Avengers. Well, the first Avengers movie. And it hurts to hear that he was kind of like this. Okay, Gal had problems. Jason had problems. Ben Affleck had problems. But what I'm saying is, okay, so we know that Joss is out. So, and again, I'm not a big fan of Walter Amada because, I want the Snyderverse to be restored. But it seems that the stuff in the interview, he says that Walter Amada said that Joss is an asshole. He's gone. We're never hiring him again. Okay, so they did the right thing. But it seemed that Walter Amada was trying to play peacekeeper, and it's kind of like, listen, why don't you just go back and play Cyborg in the Flash movie?
Right.
And then later on, so in September, what's his name? Ray tweeted that Walter Amada is an enabler of a dangerous kind. And when the Hollywood Reporter asked him, what did you mean by that? It was like, well, they tweeted back in September that I was not cooperating with the investigation. And I'm assuming Walter Amada knew that was said. And probably, I'm like, well, if you don't know that he actually said it, why are you going after, you know what I mean?
Okay.
There was a lot of like inferences, like he's assuming. And again, this is me trying to play fair because I want Ray Fisher back as Cyborg. Joss Whedon does suck. I hate to say that, but my point was, like, when it came to the racial stuff, I was not sold. If you know what I mean, that what happened to him was because he was African American. Right. Because I feel like other people would have jumped on that and they would destroy Warner Brothers.
Right. And at the same time, I mean, I can't speak on this stuff. First of all, I have no idea what happened on set. Warner Brothers is at that level where they can do whatever they want. They can get rid of whatever they want, whatever information they want out or don't want out. It will go down that way. I don't really know what else to say. I can't speak on it because I don't know what happened. Right. So I stay out.
But my basic point was, like, I wasn't sold. So I want you to read the article. Maybe you get a different point of view, at least on the racist stuff. On the racist stuff, I wasn't sold. Like, maybe they were ignorant. You can be ignorant. You can say something ignorant and not be racist. But I wasn't sold on the racist stuff. So all of a sudden, I'm like, well, what they asked him, what's your end game? Do you want these guys gone? He's like, well, I don't think they should be in charge of hiring and firing. And all of a sudden I'm feeling like, I don't think they're going to make all these changes just for him. Like they're going to get rid of Hamada. They're going to get rid of Jeff Johns. They're going to get rid of Toby Emmerich, you know.
Well, maybe I'll read it. Maybe we'll hop on the stream. We'll get into it. And we'll actually have a real conversation about it.
It is long though. Just me reading it took like an hour.
Okay. If you guys are interested in such a thing, let us know. You know how to get to us. Twitter, Discord. You can get in the comments right now if that sounds like something you'd be into. Let us know. Me and Jack will hop on stream. Maybe Drizzle will join us too, and we'll all have a conversation about that in depth. As of right now, I didn't read the article, so I'm kind of speaking on a blind mind.
Yeah, definitely read it because I have my point of view, but I'd be curious like what your thoughts are. You know?
Okay.
So, speaking of which, we're thinking of possibly doing more gaming videos, right? And we could probably use some ideas. What people might. We did one on Bethesda. We're possibly thinking about doing a deep dive on GTA 3.
Right. Okay. So,
maybe.
I like what you just did there, Jack. It's a great way to wrap this up. So, for the first, it's not going to be that long, but we're talking like a couple of weeks, maybe if that. I will be working on YouTube videos. You're not going to see me on stream that often. I'll be here for Quick Dip. I'll be here for podcasts, obviously. But as far as like those day-to-day streams that you see and those, watch parties and stuff like that, you won't really see me that much. I'm going to be working on videos, trying to, I would like to get more content flowing, pre-recorded kind of scripted type of content on YouTube on our channel. So we have a abundance of everything, right? There's 3 of us. So we should be able to touch all bases because there's more than one of us. So I would like to spend my time working on that. You'll see me hop on every now and again, like now. And like I said, I'll be here for Quick Dips podcast. You'll see me on the stream.
I'm still setting up the thing with the Hollywood Horror Museum. They haven't gotten back to me because I'm like, these are the days we have. What days work for you? But I know that doing a sci-fi museum, I thought you would kill that because you like sci-fi and horror. Like
absolutely.
It could just be us talking about our favorite horror movies. And
love it. Absolutely. I'm all about it. About it. Absolutely.
That 100%. Is going to happen. It's just about focusing on a day that when we're going to do it,
Right.
But listen, someone said something interesting to me last night. He said Grand Theft Auto 3 might be the most important video game of all time. And I was like, I thought about it for a second because of what it did to the industry. I'm like, damn, we're on the right track, with that one.
Interesting. I mean, it definitely I'd say it's Rockstar's biggest, their most significant. GTA 3 is essentially what Morrowind was for Bethesda, right? It's that game that turned them into something serious, right? So I don't know about all time, but it's definitely
most important. Meaning, like people will say, like Citizen Kane was like the most important film of all time, not because the movie was that great, but it created a lot of filming techniques that everyone else followed. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Like in terms of like it really helped mainstream. Like for me, I would have said maybe Call of Duty 4 because that made video gaming huge. Like all of a sudden they were doing big events for it and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. FPS.
I'm excited because I'm recording footage for GTA 3 on the PS5 and it looks really nice.
Nice.
So I can't wait to do that.
Sure wish I had one of those.
Yeah.
Sure wish.
All right, guys. Justice, why don't you close us out then?
Oh, am I closing? I'm closing. Yeah. All right, guys, you know the drill around here. You know what we do. You know how the internet works. You know how YouTube works. You know how Twitter works. So if you enjoy yourself, if you like my face, or you love to hate us, like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Possibly become a patron. Your money will be appreciated and well spent. I'm a very responsible man when it comes to dollar bills. Please and thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. Everything we do is for you, for the culture. Till next time, baby.
See you guys. Thank you for watching. Woo.